Once the stylus is in position, remove the shim and tighten the handle at the rear. The final step is now to create the marking file using the electronic controller. A computer connected to the EC9 can be used to configure the marking machine, although it is commonly performed directly on the EC9 controller. The controller is used to define all marking parameters and data without having to use an external device. The first step consists in setting the marking location by entering the X and Y coordinates. Next, the character size and the content of the marking are defined. Press the right arrow to proceed to the next menu. A new window opens in which you can define the marking force, the dot spacing and the desired font. The next page is used to set the marking speed and gives access to advanced settings such as angular or circular marking. The last page allows you to preview or simulate the marking operation. Once these various parameters have been set, the file can be saved and stored in the memory for later use. Note that the letters Y and N are used to answer programming questions by yes or no. Next, correctly position the part to be marked on the platform and immobilize it. A set of magnets can be used in the case of a flat part. If the parameters have been defined correctly, simply press the Start button to initiate marking. The quality setting defines the distance between each dot to a character or logo. The closer the dot spacing, the more continuous the marking will appear, and thus the better quality it will have. There are 5 different levels of quality. The up and down arrows, located to the right of the screen, are used to scroll through the various levels. With simple quality, the dots are spaced somewhat far apart, while a higher quality setting, quality 0.58 for example, will give the impression of almost continuous marking. Marking force is also an essential parameter. As the force increases, the depth and diameter of the various impact points also increases, offering better visibility. The force is selected in the same manner as the quality setting, using the up and down arrows. 9 marking force levels are available. Marking speed is also selected using the up and down arrows. 3 marking speeds are available. The same selection system is used to select the character font. The operator can select from 4 of the most commonly used fonts. Regarding font size, the width, parameter W on the display, and height, parameter H on the display, can be defined. As an example, we will perform 2 marking operations with a combination of forces and different stylus part clearance. The first marking will be deep with a percussion force of 5 and a stylus part clearance of 6 mm. We can see that the text is very visible with the characters deeply marked in the part. The second marking will be shallow with a percussion force of 2 and a stylus part clearance of 2 mm. We can easily see the difference by comparing the 2 markings. The advantage of light marking is that it exposes the part to a very limited amount of physical stress, which is ideal for thin or fragile parts, while deep marking is to be reserved for thicker parts. Once the parameters have been defined, the manual approach function allows the operator to position the starting point of the marking operation using the directional arrows. Each time an arrow is pressed, the initial position of the stylus is moved slightly on the X or Y axis. The contour function allows you to check the location of the marking without striking the part. The stylus follows the exact contour of the area in which the text will be marked. The simulation function on the right-hand side of the menu allows you to check the exact movements made by the stylus while it simulates the marking without striking the part. The EC9 can also perform more advanced markings. Let's start with the incremental marking mode. To enable incremental marking, simply enter the @ character in front of the digit to be incremented. The controller will automatically modify the value for each new marking operation. In this case, it will start with SIC000, then SIC001, then SIC002, and so on. The text variable marking mode can also be very useful. It enables a variable field to be repeated without modifying the marking program. It is defined by pressing Alt+V on the keyboard. For each new marking operation, the EC9 will reproduce the previous marking, except for the variable. The value of this variable can be easily modified by the operator. Several fixed fields can also be defined, as well as variable fields that change with each part as required. A shortcut key provides direct access for the input of variables. To define angular marking, simply enter the corresponding menu and select the angle at which the text is to be marked. This angle is defined in relation to a horizontal line. Once again, the graphic view function allows you to preview the marking. In the case of circular marking, the marking follows the contour of a virtual circle. To set it up, the user must define the XY coordinates of the circle's center, the radius, and the angle at which the marking begins. The graphic view tool allows you to view the result. The EC9 contains a number of pre-recorded logos. To access the logos, simply go to the text window and simultaneously press the Alt+L buttons. This gives access to the list of logos available in the machine. Simply select the desired logo using the vertical arrows. As with all marking operations, it is possible to preview the result. If the preview image is too small, you can zoom in on the result with the Page Up button on the keyboard, located above the numeric keypad. The button next to it, Page Down, is used to zoom out. If needed, a program included in the E9 Tools software suite can be used to create your own logos and then import them into the EC9 from a computer. Finally, marking is possible on cylindrical parts using the optional rotary axis. It is mounted on the EC9's base by means of two T-nuts in the same manner as the optional white platform. The part can then be placed in the three-way jaws for rotational marking. The use of the D-axis must then be entered in the machine settings menu. In the new page, the operator indicates the presence of the D-axis via the corresponding icon. You must then define the diameter of the part to be marked in the menu that follows. Marking with the D-axis can be performed in either the horizontal or vertical position, depending on the start angle. The software suite included with the machine allows you to create files on your computer, create your own logos, transfer files from your computer to the EC9, save files created directly on the machine to your computer, and perform updates as required.